you have some really great moments with Daniel Levy in this movie, and I was curious what really stood out about him as a scene partner because we get to see his real dramatic range here.
Yeah, that's true, Tyler. Um, from day one, I was impressed with Dan's ability to embodies Marc's emotion, very deep emotions, sadness, bittersweet emotions. It was so subtle, and I was a huge fan of Schitt's Creek, but it's a new Dan Levy, and from the reading of the script, I was so curious and excited to see how it's going to be on set with him being Marc, being that character.
The way your characters are introduced is funny. Your character sees Dan's character, Mark, pissing off a performance artist, and then he decides to approach him. What do you think that drew Theo to Mark? What was that?
I think it's a very unique way of interacting with a performance artist in that kind of, scene or crowd. And I think Theo is really intrigued by Marc in that way of acting. And maybe in Theo's life, it's quite easy to connect with people, and Marc is very by himself, and it's a challenge for Theo to see what's behind this. Who is he? I'm gonna see who he's really are, who he really is. Sorry.
And there's this wonderful scene in the movie that takes place with Monet's The Water Lilies paintings. And it's very emotional, and it's a really beautiful back and forth between your characters. Can you speak to filming that scene? Because I thought it was a real highlight of the film.
It was absolutely incredible to have the Musée de l'Orangerie just for ourselves for a day. I felt really impressed by all that paintings, so small in front of that work. I went to that museum several times, but with a lot of people, and to be able to connect with all the paintings all around you is really, really moving and special. I felt so lucky, really, and privileged to be in that place with Dan and with all the crew.
And your character Thea, there's such an openness and a vulnerability there. What did you like most about that character you got to portray?
He's really trying to be honest all the time, and it's quite difficult in the real life. So to put myself in his shoes and try to be honest all the time, it was a very interesting journey. How does it feel to be really authentic and try not to act, not to play with other people, and just trying to tell the truth all the time? I kind of loved it, and I'm trying to do it in the real life now. It's a journey, and I'm trying, and I hope I'm going to succeed in it at some point.
I love that. And then my last question for you. This was Daniel's directorial debut for a film. How was it kind of just watching him juggle his duties both as a director and an actor?
It was fascinating, fascinating. I was expecting sometimes to be on my own, and it would be okay because he had so many things to do. But it was still very focused on our relationship, and through his looks, his smiles, I could tell he was happy with the scenes. And thanks to all the readings and the prep we done before, we had been able to create a real connection in the real life before. So that's why it felt so organic and genuine on screen, thanks to this. And I tried to be the most focused and helpful for him to be able to watch all the images and do breaks and be by the technical aspect to leave him some space.